Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. This is Treston Scholl and a bunch of other goofballs from my gym hitting up some squats against some band tension. The bands make the weights lighter at the bottom and heavier at the top. Teaches you to accelerate, teaches you to produce more force, apply more force to the barbell, and become more fasterist. So we got a group of about 4 guys going here. Here's Greg Buffington. This seems to be kind of a little bit more towards the end of their workout, as Greg has about 5 plates on there. From what I remember on this day, they did a bunch of sets that were faster with lighter weights and then worked up in weight. You can see that's pretty good depth there, especially for Treston, who's probably about 6'1", really sinking down to that pad. It's a foam pad. You sink down into it, it just makes it that much more difficult to come back up. And there's Ryan Spencer handling what looks to be about 430 pounds or so, and he only weighs about $170. And here's Bill Alex, a guy that lifts with us, competes raw, and Bill actually has just lost a bunch of weight, so he's trying to readjust to that weight loss. And there's a good strong squat by Treston. And Treston recently got married and has had some scheduling problems with work and stuff like that, so it's been a little harder for him to get to the gym. But he never skips a beat on his squat. It's always strong and explosive. Here's my chubby little self hitting up some bent over rows. You can see how weak and pathetic I am at rowing motions. I have to cheat and wear straps. And also the CrossFit shirt. As his CrossFit shirt makes you look 10 times smaller than you really are. Here's Mr. Robot Pants. He's the only person in the world that can have that white of a leg out in California. I don't know what he's trying to do to our barbell, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to throw that one out. Looks like he's trying to have sex with it, and I don't appreciate that.
Ew.
Robot's working on his lockout for his deadlifts, basically doing what's called a Dimmel deadlift. Just trying to work the glutes, trying to work the booty, work the hamstrings. And I deadlifted the day before, so I just came in and did some assistance work on this day. Some lower back work and some bent over rows, a couple other back exercises, and some sled work. But for whatever reason, I've always sucked at rowing motions. That's why I've been trying to implement them more. I really feel like they're going to help my deadlift, help me increase my strength and speed off the floor. Speed off the floor has not been very good, especially since I've lost weight. It's been pretty shitty. So doing anything and everything I can to make that better. You see there's Robot again, just kind of working that top range of the deadlift. And these exercises kind of go to show you guys that you don't always have to set the world on fire with your lifts. This is just about 205 pounds or so. Might be a quarter snuck in there somewhere, but it's not very heavy is the point. And you don't always have to destroy yourself to get better. Sometimes you can simply just practice. Here's Ryan Spencer hitting up some sumo deadlifts. He's got about 405 on there, it looks like. These guys did some repetition work after their squatting. So you can squat and deadlift in the same day. You won't go to hell, you won't get sent to jail, and you won't die. You can work hard on more than one exercise in the same day. That's not illegal. You can have a training session that lasts over an hour. You don't always need to have branched chain amino acids in your pocket. You don't always have to have a pre-workout shake. You don't always have to have a voodoo band. You don't always need to roll out on a foam roller every workout. Some of these things people do nowadays that they think are part of exercise, which sometimes just ridiculous. Chris Ramos banging out some deadlifts on a deficit. He's trying to destroy himself, which hopefully he's successful with. This is 455 pounds. By Ryan Spencer. Ryan Spencer likes to use the bar we have in the gym called the Q bar. And the Q bar is basically like an IPF approved bar that's stiff and doesn't give you any whip when you do a deadlift. It makes the deadlift exercise a little bit harder. A lot of people don't realize, you see these big deadlifts done in the gym, and a lot of times these guys are, lifting with a deadlift bar but they're also lifting with pound plates, and the pound plates get to be way out towards the end of the barbell, and that creates a tremendous amount of whip, which doesn't match anything that you would do in the contest. And so they get an unrealistic version of what they're going to actually be able to lift in the meet, because when you go to the meet, you're going to either use pound plates that are skinnier, or you're going to use kilo plates, which are much skinnier, and you won't have that same whip on the barbell. And that's why I believe, in my opinion, you're seeing guys hit 850-pound deadlifts in training, and then going to a meet and struggling with 820, 810, and so on, and sometimes even struggling with around 800 pounds. I mean, also, there's also the factor of, hey, you know what, they just squatted. You know, they just squat as much as they possibly could, and that's a big factor. Here's Greg Buffington doing what he always does best, working hard, working his ass off. One of my favorite guys at Super Training. He just comes in, he's not super vocal, just comes in and works hard. Comes down each weekend, and squats and deadlifts, and each and every time he comes in, he just gives the best effort he possibly can. And that's why he's been able to improve so much over the last few years. Here's Spence going with about 5 plates. Got a nice close-up of that mug. He's doing a much better job with his head. He used to move his head around a lot on these deadlifts. Now he's got a more solid neck position, and just really outstanding pulling there by him. I don't know if I can say what this exercise is called with my children in the room, but you get the idea of kind of what this is accomplishing. Somebody else had this set up for the day. Janet Laval had it set up, and so I just figured I'll try it, and I added some bands to it. But basically, if you'd like to please yourself, this would be a great exercise to help get you in proper position for that. And that is it from supertraining.tv.